everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I am here for my May releases. So if you're new here, my releases videos, I talk about all of the really big releases and the really big sequels that are coming out first. I give you the release dates, and then I get into 5 of my personally most exciting releases or lesser known releases that I really want to talk about. So let's get into the big ones. We all know where this is starting. ACOFAS comes out on May 1st. Video's over. That's all I need to talk about. It's the only book that I'm going to be reading in the month of May, but okay. So, big releases. ACOFAS, obviously. Sarah J. Maas, May 1st. I took off work to read this, you guys. Like, that's how important this book is for me. Okay, we got that out of our system. Let's move on to the other really big titles and sequels that are also coming out in the month of May, even though none of them matter. So we also have Legendary by Stephanie Garber, which is coming out on May 29th. This is also a really big release for a lot of people, I know. This is the sequel to Caraval. Not my personal favorite book of last year, but they're still beautiful books and I can fully appreciate that, and I will probably end up reading it, let's be honest. I'll end up reading it. We also have Warstorm by Victoria Aveyard. This is part of the Red Queen series. I thought this was a trilogy. Was I the only one? Is this one of those like, it's a trilogy, just kidding, here's another book in that world? I don't know. But we have Warstorm coming out on May 15th. We also have Puddin' coming out by Julie Murphy. This is kind of a companion novel to Dumpling, which came out last year, which I read, everybody read it. They were super fun. So this is following another character who is in that first book. So it's going to be her story. So not a direct sequel, but a companion. And this is coming out on May 8th. We have The Burning Maze by Rick Riordan, which is part of, I think, the Trials of Apollo series. I kind of stopped reading Rick Riordan a long time ago. I know. This is coming out also on May 1st, along with ACOFAS. Another huge release that I'm very excited about coming out on May 1st is Only Human by Sylvain Neuval. This is the 3rd book in the Themis Files trilogy. I'm hoping it's more than a trilogy, but I'm not sure if it's like a series, a trilogy, maybe this is the final one. God, I hope not, because I'm not ready for the series to end. We also have Lifelike coming out by Jay Kristoff, because everybody loves Jay Kristoff. This is coming out on May 29th. Looks awesome. I mean, it's Jay Kristoff, so come on. We also have Allied coming out, which is the final installment in the Ruined trilogy by Amy Tintera. This is coming out also on May 1st. And the last kind of big title coming out is by Sally Green, who wrote the Half Bad trilogy, which everybody and their mom read when they were out and popular. She finally has a new fantasy story coming out called The Smoke Thieves, and that is also coming out on May 1st. Go figure. Everything is on May 1st. May is gonna be intense for my mailbox. Okay, getting into books that I actually want to talk about and books that I'm planning on reading for sure, besides ACOFAS, because I mean, that's what I'm gonna be reading. This book I want to talk about is Furyborn by Claire Legrand. This is the ARC. Obviously, this is not the final cover. I will put the final cover right there. But I do have this, so I should probably get around to reading it, right? Right, because I know some people who would like kill for this book right now, so I should probably read it. So this just sounds amazing. So this is following 2 girls, both of which are kick-ass, awesome sounding people. So the first girl that we're following is Riel, and she kind of exposes herself in this assassination attempt of her best friend, who happens to be the Crown Prince. She reveals that she can in fact wield all 7 powers of elemental magic, which is like a prophesized thing. The only people who are capable of doing that are the 2 prophesized queens. There's the Queen of Light and Salvation and the Queen of Blood and Destruction. This reminds me slightly of the last Namsara, which is like that same like light and dark situation. And in order for her to prove that she is the Sun Queen, the good one I would guess, she's put through a whole bunch of trials to prove the use of all of her magic, and if she fails, she dies. So there are some stakes there. And the other girl that we're following is Eliana, who is a bounty hunter who lives years in the future and has heard the legendary tales of Queen Riel. And she just kind of seems like she is living a rough life. She is a bounty hunter, so you know she's pretty tough. But when her mother, along with a whole bunch of other women in her village, vanish, she takes it upon herself to team up with this rogue captain, I'm assuming love interest there, and go off to find out what's happening. The little last sentence of the blurb of the synopsis says that these 2 girls are fighting a cosmic war across generations and they interconnect, and it just sounds so epic and I'm so ready for it. Anybody who has like elemental magic, I'm down with that. That sounds so cool. I love trial type stories, like the pressure of trials, having to go through them. Sounds awesome. I love a kick-ass bounty hunter chick. That sounds so cool. I'm just so ready for this. So Furyborn comes out on May 22nd, and I can't wait to start reading it because I have it. I should probably read it, right? Like I should do that soon. Yeah, I should. The next book that I want to talk about is called Ship It by Britta London. This also comes out on May 1st, and I am so excited for this book. It sounds so fun and so cute and right up my alley. So this is gonna fit in with the whole like niche of geek fandom books that are coming out, which I can't get enough of. I'm gonna read every single one because I am a self-proclaimed nerd, geek, what have you. I love reading about the geek culture. It's my favorite. So in this story, we're following Claire, who is a die-hard fangirl and obsessed with the show called Demon Heart. So she gets the opportunity to go to a Comic-Con type event and interview the main character on it. And she also happens to be a really big fan fiction writer, and she basically ends up questioning him about his character's sexuality. And she is so convinced that her fan fiction and that the actual show is leading up to reveal that he is gay. So the actor that she's interviewing who plays this main character is so taken aback and so offended, and it becomes like a PR nightmare that they end up asking Claire to come on tour with them to kind of boost their reputation after like a PR nightmare of like offending the LGBT community. So Claire ends up going along with the cast of her favorite show and interviewing them and interacting with them, and all the while she is kind of opening up about her own sexuality, which I'm believing that she is gay, and meanwhile, the actor is starting to question whether his character actually could be gay. Like, is that actually canon, or did she make that up and is pushing her impressions on him? It just sounds so nerdy, so fun, and pretty important in this day and age. So I like the nerd take on it, I love the LGBT influence on it, and I just love like the dream come true of like touring with your favorite show's cast. It just sounds so fun. Can't wait to get my hands on it. It looks so cute. Also, it's called Ship It. I mean, come on. Can you get more relevant right now? No. I'm so excited. So May 1st, this comes out. The next book I want to talk about is Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. This comes out on May 15th, and can we take a second to appreciate this cover? It's so beautiful. It's giving me like the Tree of Shannara vibes. It's just gorgeous. I love it. I want to hang it on my wall and stare at it. Obviously, this is going to be a fantasy, and we are following a girl who has the name Traitor Kate. She earned this nickname after her father attempted to assassinate the king, and the name kind of followed her family afterwards. So she is clearly not liked in this kingdom, is kind of living as an outcast, and is trying to join the relay, which sounds like a really brutal, badass Pony Express. Like, I think it's a courier service, but only like the most skilled riders and the most skilled archers are capable of doing this. I don't know, I'm hooked already on this. Like, that pretty much sold me already on this book. But you have to be such a skilled hunter to be a part of the relay, because at night the night drakes come out, which is like a flightless dragon type thing that hunts them. So we're adding some conflict in here amongst the ponies. I don't actually know if they're riding horses or not, but I'm gonna just picture Pony Express. So fortunately for Kate, who is trying to get into this relay, she has the magical ability to communicate with animals. Can we guess why I'm gonna read this book? Like, I can just pretty much stop right there, and that's good enough. But this talent has to be hidden because she would be considered a wilder. People who are able to communicate with the animals, and that is punishable by death, so nobody can know about this. We are also following Corwin, who is Kate's long-lost love, so we all know he's gonna come back into the picture, but he is obviously the crowned prince, and lost his childhood best friend when Kate's father attempted to kill his father, who was the king, so clearly they could no longer be friends. But he's pretty much going about his life waiting for his brother to be crowned prince and just kind of living in the outskirts of his own kingdom. He and Kate will get thrown together in some sort of magical massacre. I'm trying to go in blind on this. I'm not trying to give a super inclusive synopsis here because I personally want to go in knowing only a little bit. Honestly, the communicating with animals and the risky Pony Express is enough to sell me on this, plus some romance is going to be thrown in, some fantasy greatness. It just sounds awesome. And again, the cover. The next book I want to talk about is Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. This comes out on May 15th, and I am so thankful for HMH Team for sending me an arc of this because I'm so excited to start this. So this is going to be a darker contemporary, which I am a fan of. I love the really dark, hard-hitting contemporaries. So this is following twins, Owen and Mara, and Owen and Mara are super close as twins can be, until Mara's best friend Hannah accuses Owen of rape. And Mara is kind of torn in between believing her twin brother or believing her best friend. And obviously this is gonna throw some serious turmoil into her family and into her friendships. And as she is struggling dealing with this, it's also kind of putting an obstacle in her relationship with her girlfriend. So it just seems like there's a lot of family drama surrounding a very traumatic event. So this is going to be asking a lot of those difficult questions about consent and victim blaming and sexual assault. So there's gonna be some triggering stuff in here. And I just think it's gonna be so hard hitting and very probably hard to read at times, but probably very impactful and insightful and probably very relevant right now because it has LGBT elements in it. It has sexual assault elements in it. So things that need to be discussed today in society. So this is tackling all of those things and it sounds amazing. The reviews of this so far are just phenomenal. I can't wait to start reading this. So I'm probably gonna pick this up, well, let's be honest, after ACOFAS, but I will put a review up probably the week of its release to let you guys know my final thoughts on this, but I can tell you right now I'm probably gonna love it. And to lighten things up, the last book that I want to talk about sounds so fun, and that is Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. This comes out on May 8th, and this just sounds so fun. So this is following Mila and her best friend Riley, who live in kind of a small town, and their favorite pastime is amateur witchcraft. As you do. What else are you gonna do in a small town? I don't know. Some witchcraft. So when Riley and two other girls from their academy end up dead, Mila doesn't really know how to handle this situation. It's her best friend and she is not really believing the story that is spreading around surrounding their death. Everyone is pretty much saying that it was a suicide pact between these three girls, and Mila's just like, I don't think that's true, and she thinks it has something to do with the witchcraft. Literal line from the synopsis, armed with a tube of lip gloss and an ancient grimoire, she's gonna raise the dead. So she brings them back to life to find out what really happened to them. So she has some zombies who are gonna answer some girl questions. Doesn't that sound great? I want to read the heck out of that book. So those are the 5 books plus ACOFAS in the month of May that I'm looking forward to the most. If there are any books that you guys are really looking forward to, leave them down in the comments, or if any of these are striking your fancy, let me know, because I would love to do some buddy reads with you guys, so definitely leave that down in the comments down below. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more of these videos. I do them every single month, and that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.